Hello, everyone. This is JD Wilson. Today is April 25th, 2026, and today I'll be presenting ego identity, self esteem, locus of control, and purpose in life among college students, a mediation analysis by QJ Miller. All right, for the method section. The researcher's intent for this article was to examine how ego identity connects to purpose in life and whether or not locus of control or self esteem have anything to do with the relationship. I know that's a bit wordy and kind of complicated, but basically what it means is how they wanted to examine how your view of yourself connects to your purpose in life and whether or not your idea of how much control you have over your life or your self esteem have anything to do with that specific relationship. They studied this topic using, they had the students and participants take four psychological tests. These psychological tests were like things like the ego identity scale, the Rosenberg self esteem scale, the purpose in life test, and the locus of control scale. These are all well established psychological tests. And they analyzed the data that they got from those tests using a parallel mediation model, which basically examines how an independent variable affects a dependent variable through multiple mediators. So it's kind of perfect for this specific study, considering that there are these four specific variables and there are so many of them: the ego identity, the purpose in life, the locus of control or self esteem. It's perfect because it examines exactly how they correlate and how they interact with each other. Who were the participants? The participants were 184 college students, all from the same university, and they were all actually also selected from psychology courses at that university. There were 107 women, 76 men, and one unidentified individual. The average age of the participants was about 32 years old. All right, for the results, basically, the researchers found that if you do have a better view of yourself, if you are more accepting of yourself, you are going to have a greater sense of purpose, and you're gonna, there's a higher chance you're gonna have a purpose already. You're gonna feel you have a purpose. You're gonna have a good idea of that. Is what basically what I mean. But they also found that self-esteem directly correlates to your ego identity. How you view yourself. If you are viewing yourself in a better light, if you are more accepting of yourself, you're going to have more self esteem, and that directly correlates to having a greater sense of purpose. I thought it was pretty funny that locus of control was actually just basically eliminated from this study, um, which is why I think the parallel mediation model was perfect for analyzing the data because it just showed us that locus of control really didn't connect with these other three variables. So it was just completely eliminated. All right, for my critiques. For strengths, I felt that the article clearly identified variables. Um, the four easily identified variables: the ego, the purpose in life, the self-esteem, and the locus of control. I felt those were very strong variables to study. Yeah, I thought those were great. Used established psychological theories and measurements. Like I said before, they use the well established four tests to get their data from their participants. And I thought that was a very strong part of the article. The use of the parallel mediation model. As I was saying before, I think it was the perfect thing to use to figure out the exact way that the variables were interacting with each other. I think I couldn't really think of another way that they could better examine it. Real world implications of the results. So basically, I put this as a strength because I feel like if you are struggling with your purpose in life, this article is basically saying you need to be more accepting of yourself and start trying to view yourself in a better light, and you will eventually find that greater sense of purpose if that's what you're looking for. Including a variety of variables. Like I said before, just having locus of control, even though it was completely eliminated from the article, I think it was needed because it shows us just how strong those other variables are. All right, for weaknesses, I said the variety of participants used was a weakness because I felt that being all from the same university and also being from psychology classes, I think being all from psychology courses, especially, I think that if you're taking a psychology course, you're gonna probably answer similarly to other people who are taking psychology courses because you're learning about this stuff day to day. Lack of demographic data. I think like your race and ethnicity are directly correlated to your like purpose in life and your ego identity. So to not have that listed is kind of a big weakness. The age of the participants was definitely a big weird thing. Just all being 32 years old, like that's not your average college student, and most 32-year-olds aren't on average in college at that time, so that was a bit weird. Self-reported surveys and collecting all data at once. Being all self-reported and all collected at once, you can't really determine someone's exact how they're feeling that day, or you know, I feel like you would need to take data over a longer period of time in order to see someone's real identity. The limitations weren't fully addressed. I felt that, like the limitations, although most of these limitations were listed, they weren't really expanded upon, which I felt would have definitely been a big strength if they had. All right. Thank you guys very much. Have a good one.